you came here when you were 21 years old from Poland.
Yeah.
You started as a dishwasher. Fast forward 7 years, you got a $1.2 billion portfolio of real estate.
I was dating this girl, and her family showed up from Colorado, and we have a regular dinner conversation. They said, "Oh, by the way, hey, we own a fourplex, and we live in one of them, and rent the other three." I'm like, ding ding, and that sentence changed my life. If it comes to financial freedom, it was over. Making $4 an hour, and quitting cigarettes because you couldn't afford it, to suddenly have, like 700 units, you think you own the world.
Were you buying property to fix and flip or
No,
rental?
I never flip. I always buy and hold. I'm a buy holder. I buy and hold properties forever.
What's been your worst?
I lost $51 million in earnest money on a deal in 2024 because I went hard.
$51 million?
Yeah, because I went hard on a deal. Your problems when you get wealthy, I'm saying financially wealthy, all your problems are gonna become 100. So what happened is you gotta have a lot stronger mindset. I was so rich on the outside, so empty on the inside, and I almost took my own life.
Jarek, I understand you came here when you were 21 years old from Poland.
Yeah.
You started as a dishwasher. Fast forward 7 years, you got a $1.2 billion portfolio of real estate. And then some.
That didn't happen in 7 years. In 7 years, I retired. And at that time, when you go from dishwasher to retiring, at that time, the portfolio was really maybe $60 million. You know what I mean? But that was like making $4 an hour, and quitting cigarettes because you couldn't afford it, to suddenly have, like 700 units. You think you own the world.
I know there's a lot more to you, but I want to start with the real estate portion because I'm curious. How do you go from dishwasher to buying your first property, and then here we are today at $1.2 billion portfolio?
It was truly one sentence. I was selling cars after the auction, and then I was dating this girl, and her family showed up from Colorado, and we have a regular dinner conversation. They said, "Oh, by the way, hey, we own a fourplex, and we live in one of them, and rent the other three." I'm like, ding ding, and that sentence changed my life. If it comes to financial freedom, it was over. At that time, I didn't realize it. I thought we were gonna buy a fourplex and that's it. And then one fourplex turned to second fourplex, then to third fourplex. Then we sold those, and that's probably the last properties we sold. And that was like 10 units, 12 units, 16 units, 17 units, then 40, 50, 100, 200, and it just took off.
I know you didn't raise any outside money. You did it all internal.
Yeah, but the way I did it, because see what happened is, I wasn't raising money. I was borrowing money from everybody, but I never gave anybody equity.
Oh, okay.
So what happened is, let's say let's say I found a deal. Let's say $1 million deal. Okay, so I need the $300,000 for down payment. So I would borrow the $300,000 at high interest, like 15%. I would not offer any equity, change the property, rehab the property, take the rents up, and then refinance and pay all those investors back.
What
but
area?
Here what happened is Colorado, mostly Colorado. But here what happened is, when I started doing this, first those people, like, 2, 3, 4 people were giving me 20, 40,000, 100,000. But then they have friends. So on the second, third time around, suddenly they were giving me triple what they have. And then they have the other friends. And suddenly I have millions of dollars coming in. It's like, okay, I got to find properties.
And you're paying 15%?
15%.
15, not 50.
15, 1.5.
Okay.
1.5.
Got it. So you're paying a really good rate.
Yeah. I remember when I bought my first property.
What year was that?
In 95. When I bought my first property in 95. So the first properties I was doing with my own money, but then I hit a block. It's like, I'm going too slow. When you get the smell for it, suddenly you want to go big.
Mm-hmm.
But there is I couldn't refinance my properties quick enough. But going back, in 95, my first property I bought, the commercial property I bought, it was 18 units when I sold with a fourplex. It was 96, 97. The interest rate I got, it was 18% first. So when I hear right now, when people say the money is expensive right now, it's like, dude, I don't want to hear it, brother.
Yeah.
I just don't. 30 years ago when I got in, it was 18, 20% first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then the interest rates start dropping, and it's in 2006, 2007, then it was a lot better interest rate, but I was paying the seconds, my investors, 15%. But because I have such a good track record, more and more money was coming.
So what were you doing? Were you buying property to fix and flip,
No,
or just
I
rental?
never flip. I always buy and hold. I'm a buy holder. I buy and hold properties forever.
So the Burr method is kind of what you
Yeah.
stumbled upon.
Yeah. So what happened is, and then when the equity is out, then I take the equity out. I don't pay any taxes, and and then I refi, and I invest more, and I invest more, invest more. After 2010, I retired third time. I'm like, okay, I'm done, and then I didn't do anything for 8 years.
8 years?
8 years. And but then I have two more kids. Then I started doing Ironman, and in 2016, I have a ski accident, and my Ironman career ended because I ended up in hospital 6 months in hospital, 13 surgeries. I almost lost my leg.
Oh wow.
So I'm like, I'm done with Ironman. I mean, I still do them once a year just to keep in shape, but I'm not racing them now. I'm just in them.
Yeah.
So it's a different story. And I'm like, okay, I got to do something. When you entire life chase something and you're looking for validation, so I was like, okay, I have kids, I have 4 kids, I have all the money, I have all the properties, I have all the businesses. So I started chasing medals. And then the medal stops. I was like, what next? So I went back to regular what I know. So I went back sedating with work. So I went, get out of retirement and start investing and start buying more stuff in Florida.
So when
And
you were living in Colorado, you started buying outside of where you were, or
no,
that's when you moved?
I only buy where I live.
Okay.
So what happened is in Colorado, I really like when you get bigger now I buy anywhere.
Okay.
But I can take the infrastructure anywhere else and take my people. But I always bought somewhere like when I was in Colorado, I was buying Colorado because I was checking all the properties, looking and just want to be access to them.
Yeah, within a 1 hour driving distance to where you live, something like that.
Colorado, yeah, an hour. Yeah, Colorado. So what happens? I live in Denver, so I was buying properties Denver, Aurora, Metro Denver area, and also Colorado Springs, which is like 45 minutes away. Which here for California, it's like here.
You also said you have your infrastructure now that you can buy anywhere in the US.
Mhm.
What infrastructure early on did you start, and then what did it evolve to help you grow?
What I'm talking about the infrastructure is truly the systems number one, but mostly the resources are the people. So what happened is when you have a loyal and good people, like I have lots of employees that work for me 20 plus years, it's easy. It's like, hey, I'm buying let's say I'm buying another 200-300 units in the new area. So we got to move, we got to train those people. That's the way how we do it. And then, because I don't know anything about operating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the visionary. Hey, I want to buy another 1,000 units. Which area? This area. Which area is growing? I think this way. Okay, well, that's what we're buying. And then, so I just like go, and then my people come in and put all the system in place and train people. And
I've been in the real estate business myself for over 25 years, and I've done about $2.5 billion worth of deals. I talk to a lot of owners like yourself at your caliber, and I'm always curious to know when you were starting out, who was your first hire? And then how did you keep growing, or what did you do to keep growing your business? Because flipping, buying one or two rental units and then capping out takes, I guess, a little bit of more um, I guess the right type of hire to grow to the next phase in your career. How did you go from your starting out to your second phase, third phase, fourth phase of growth?
well, number one, I have good people. And number two, I told you like the growth was too slow. So I got to the stage one, I got to like, 6, 70, 80, 100 units, and I got stagnant.
And you were just by yourself as one owner
I managed 73 units myself. That was like, I mean, I have some subcontractors that I need like some serious work, but I pretty much manage myself. And then I start hiring people. So then when I start hiring people, I got very, very quick, very lucky because those people are still with me. And then those people just help me just, bring the culture and bring more people and it gives me motivation to buy more properties because, with the team that I have, I could expand it. So
What roles do they fill?
pretty much everything. Like we didn't have a job description. Seriously. When we got the bigger and bigger, like when we started like buying like, bigger complexes and we got like, let's say in Jacksonville, we got there in 2018 and we bought like 800 units in a matter of like 3-4 months. I mean, it was like, oh shit, that's not a business like the family shop anymore. We got to do more corporate work. we didn't know how to do it. So it's like we have no job descriptions. We didn't even know what it is. We have to hire a consultant how to do this stuff because we're like, yeah, everybody does everything. It's like, no, we don't.
Yeah.
It's I'm telling you, to get the right people, but the biggest mistake I made in Colorado, I train everybody. And when let's say I moved to Florida, I was already too big. I wasn't present. I wasn't there, and the business struggled. So it took a lot longer to get those property in working conditions.
Got it. And as far as now, how many employees do you have working for you now? And in what capacity?
We have around 50.
50?
Because remember, the apartment buildings, they don't, especially when you have like a big complexes, they're not all over. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not really labor intensive. It's not.
So to the guys that are listening to the podcast now and they're just starting out in real estate and they just want to learn a little bit more about real estate, would you say up to 100 units, you can pretty much kind of self-manage that maybe with like one employee? Obviously have an outside management company managing, collecting the rents and everything, but maybe
I think you can do it yourself.
You can do it yourself
with
up to 100 units.
Yeah, up to 100 units with somebody else, with the system, with the software, with pretty much right now you can do it yourself with somebody. Like, I mean, you still need a maintenance because a lot of training, but you can have a cleaning crew, you can have some maintenance guy helping you out, but managing yourself on pretty much, I think you can do it. But what happens is when you have 100 units and you have, let's say, 50 duplexes, there's no way you can do that.
Yeah, that's hard.
I mean, there's no way.
Yeah.
But if you have a one complex, and that's your life savings, and you want to make sure I don't think it's going to be an issue.
So if you were to go back to your 21-year-old self and re-strategize your real estate career to speed it up and make it more efficient and jump ahead over the mistakes that you have done in your career in real estate, what would you do different?
I would do it with people.
With people? Like JV with partners?
Mm-hmm. I would not do it alone. I would be more open. I would definitely start working on me a lot quicker because my focus was only getting more deals and more deals, and I truly isolate. So I would completely go back right now and definitely do it with people, because in the last 5 years, what I do, I grow with people. So I want to have 10 billionaires around me. We both build each other versus like doing alone, because then on the end of the day, you do end up alone. You know what I mean? So you're gonna go through people. You have takers no matter what. Okay, but if you bring your awareness and your consciousness and you know exactly what you're doing in the business, then you can pretty much take those people out very quickly.
So when you're talking about bring other partners into the deal,
not even partners, people just do it. Like, brokers, insurance agents. I would do it with everybody versus
with the
myself,
team
with
of
the
having
team.
your dedicated mortgage brokers, your
Exactly.
dedicated brokers, your
Yes.
dedicated
I would
agents.
do it with everybody versus myself.
Trying to do it in-house. Were you originally doing everything in-house to try
Yeah.
to save money?
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what do you look for in people to partner with?
Well, I still don't have any partners. I have only few.
Mhm.
There's, because every partner I have, because I didn't, number one, I did not have any boundaries. So I did not, and also I didn't trust anybody. But the reason I did not trust anybody, because I did not trust myself. I was breaking my own promises. So I think, that somebody else doing the same thing. And so mostly what I would do is, what was the question? I just lost my thought.
The question was, as far as partners, what do you look for in a partner?
Well,
if you were to partner,
mostly because what happened is the same values. Because when you have a partner right now, do the prenuptial agreement. Like, I'm not joking. Like, do the prenup, do the exit strategy. Make sure you have the same values, and make sure that the partner brings completely something else that you don't bring. Make sure don't bring the partner you both bring the same. It's not gonna work. You gotta both need each other. You gotta replace each other. So make sure that your strengths are his weaknesses and his weaknesses are your strength. That's the best way. And just make sure you're on the same strategy, which usually are. I would get away from equity partners. It doesn't work. I got burned all the time. When somebody doesn't bring anything to the table, it won't work.
They just bring money. They're like, here, I'll give you money.
Yeah.
Do.
Yeah. So, and I'm telling you, do prenup, do the exit strategy. Hey, if this happens, we get out. It's gonna be a lot easier.
When it comes to real estate, I know that in the 90s and early 2000s, I was investing at that time as well. It was so easy to make money in real estate. And I felt like what I learned over my career, if I taught somebody now, I don't think it would work as it would do today, because starting from zero today is way more difficult. And you hear a lot of people on social media saying, oh, you could just start and buy Section 8 or do this or do that. But it really is not as easy as it was 20, 30 years ago in real estate. Do you think there's different strategies that'll work today? Because our strategy, I don't think would work today.
You know what? It's funny that you said that. When my daughters finished, they turned 18, I bought them a fourplexes. And they were asking me questions that, how do you do this? How do you do this? I don't know. I don't even remember. I know how to structure $100 million deal, but I don't know how to collect rent. That's your business. You don't know how to collect rent? I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I call my office. I was knocking on the door. Hey, pay me my rent.
Yeah.
I didn't up to like 70, 100 units. I didn't even have a nose. Like I knew in my head.
Yeah.
And then I start putting the notes, then I hire somebody. So we have like a kind of, even like really like I was writing the line, unit this, unit this.
Oh boy.
It's
super old school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then Excel, I think it was 2000 for me. Like I'm completely behind. But I gotta tell you, there are different strategies right now. There's so much creative financing that you can really take advantage of it. And different market. There's so markets, there's nothing to be made. There are markets, the brand new coming market that you gotta have balls and go in. That's our strategies still work. We have emotional intelligence. We have the experience. They don't. They're doing crazy. And unfortunately, when they get lucky, they get lucky. I think I got lucky on a few of my deals. Like if you told me this 10 years ago, 7 years ago, I'm like, hell yeah, no, I didn't get lucky. I work hard. No, I got lucky. There's some deals that should not work, and they did work. So it's just doing the deals, nothing else. And I always tell somebody, when you're getting into real estate right now, I wish you fail. Because what happened is when you get lucky on the first two deals, you're gonna fail on a bigger deals, and it's gonna be a lot more costly because you're gonna get used to it.
Yeah.
So go in and I love this one, dude. Like I'm gonna wait when the bubble. Well, now the prices are too high, the interest rate too high. Dude, just today is the day to buy real estate. Today is the best day. There's no other day. A year, 2 years, 3 years gonna go by. They're gonna regret it.
If you were to lose everything today and have to start all over again, what would you do?
Huh. I am asked this question quite a few times. You know what? I think first I would go cry a little bit. I would spend some time with me, and I would probably breathe a little bit. And then I will go back and I will do my true like superpower or my expertise is multifamily C-class apartments. So I will go back. I will make some phone calls. It's like, hey, brothers, I'm back in. I'm back. I reset. I figured out. I'm gonna go back and make some calls and get some people on my team and just do it from the beginning. But it will be a lot quicker.
Oh yeah. Once you know the roadmap, it's much easier.
It's this is a skill that nobody can take away from you.
Yeah.
I love negotiating. I love negotiating deals. I don't say no for an answer. And having the awareness, and I'm telling you, in business intelligence is everything. And when you mix business intelligence with emotional intelligence, dude, you golden. And when you truly have integrity, I've been in the business now 32 years. I never screwed anybody in my life. Having the integrity with yourself also, that you're gonna make any money you touch, you're gonna make money. And a lot of people, like I know a lot of people don't want to do the work. Like right now, I don't do the work. But a lot of people that I would have to go back and do the work. A lot of people don't want to do the work, but they want to make sure the money make money. So I would just show them how to leverage money and get back to the game. But immediately, but I would do exactly in the same market niche. That's what I know. I would not do anything. Oh, this time I do differently. This time maybe I do luxury homes, or maybe this time I do A-class apartment, B-class apartments. No, I would do exactly what I know. And I'll probably go to the same markets I already know and have my expertise at.
You said you enjoy negotiating. What are some of your negotiating tips and tricks that you use?
You know, the biggest thing I would say, do not, like to me, the biggest, there's nothing. Be patient. It's truly be patient. I have the best deal comes to me a year later. A year later, did I last some, like 2 years later? Did I last some good deals? Yes, I did. There was my ego. Yes, it was my ego. But the best deals usually follow me a year, 2 years later, and become the best deals because they were like, I know they're struggling. They're gonna get there. They're gonna get there, and they came back with a lot better price for me. So just being patient is the most important. The most important. But everybody wants instant gratification. Like I did all the work. Sometimes you need to do all the work, and the deal will not happen. When you're a real estate agent, when you're a mortgage broker, you're not gonna get paid until you close the deal. When you're a real estate investor, not only you're not gonna get paid when you close the deal, you're not gonna get paid sometimes for 5-10 years. Be patient. And it's nice. You know what I love? Because we don't have access to the money. So we cannot get stupid. We cannot start buying Royces, jets, Ferraris, and show all the stuff on social media.
I think what most people don't understand about real estate billionaires on paper, on paper, you control $1 billion worth of assets, but you really don't have any money in the bank because real estate, you're cash poor and land rich.
Yeah.
Because all of it's invested and you're always chasing cash flow and paying bills. And you bring in $1 million and $1 million goes out. You bring in $1 million, 1.2 goes out. And you're like, oh man, I got to plug this hole now of a shortfall. But that's what most people don't understand. They think, oh, wow, you have, $100 million in real estate. It must be sitting in the bank. No, the bank could have $5,000 in it.
No, I think don't ever look at it because like we started arguing, you can have $1 billion in real estate and I can have a $1.5 billion in loans. So I'm actually negative, have $500 million.
Yeah,
that's how it truly works. And what is truly nice, the wiser you get and the older you get, not having access to the money and not getting stupid is the good thing. It's truly like right now, I realized this literally like 5 years ago. If I have access to the money, I had no idea what I would do. I will get stupid. I will lose it. No, seriously, it's a human nature. You want it. You know what I mean? But when every time I refinance and I look at the money and I see how much money I can buy with the money, and then I don't have to pay anybody 50% because I just refinance. I got 5-6% from the bank. I was like, holy shit! No, I'm not. So
it's interesting that you say that because I have some refinances that I'm doing as well on some of my properties, and I know a large sum of money is going to come. And as soon as it comes, I check to see which rate is higher on which bank, and I immediately call for a payoff, and I send that payoff to escrow because I'm like, just bring it in and take it right out. Because as soon as it hits my account, I'm going to do something stupid. I'm going to go on some trip or just give myself a reward. And I'm like, no, let me just roll it into another deal. Yeah, I totally understand. Being in real estate for as long as you've been, I'm sure you've had some really bad deals, really big, hard downfalls in your career. It's inevitable. I mean, you're only one deal away from that one bad deal that comes. Have you had any? And
a lot.
What's been your worst?
The worst deal. The worst deal that I lost $51 million in earnest money on a deal in 2024 because
$51 million
earnest money because I went hard on a deal. Because I got cocky and I was like, no, I got it. I'm gonna close this, and then none of my other deals did not close, and then the lenders did not come in because it was a very bad year. 2024 was election year, so whoever's listening, do not do any big businesses on election years. I learned the lesson. Do not do that.
I like to buy it during election years because
Yeah,
there's so much volatility.
And I'm telling you, don't, because it backfired on me, and I did the same thing on 2020. I made all my money, and then 2024.
Hold on, we're not going to brush this off. How did you lose $51 million?
I put earnest money hard.
Tell me about the deal.
What happened is it was a lot of apartment buildings. There was A-class apartment buildings in Jacksonville, thousands of units. And I was putting the portfolio together, and I was putting the money hard to extend those deals, because I knew I'm gonna close. My other deals were closing, and that's how I lost it.
You didn't even sue or do anything to try and save that $51 million.
It was me. It was me. Nobody did anything.
Mhm.
I did it. That was my cockiness, and I knew I'm gonna get it done. So, at the end of the day, it was me. It was nobody else.
Wow, that's a painful lesson.
That's why we're sitting here.
So, which leads us into how you deal with that kind of a loss. Like,
You don't. You really. It's because what happened is, when you have a loss and when you have a wins, it's gonna wash out. It's gonna happen no matter what. You cannot just ignore it. It's gonna happen.
well, we've talked about a big loss, $51 million. What's a win?
I'm here alive. You have to understand, 3 years before, I almost took my own life. So losing money is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pleasure. It was like a gift. It's like, oh, I got it. I'm too cocky. I got it.
What led you to almost commit suicide a few years
Because
ago?
you know what? I was constantly chasing money, chasing titles, chasing more buildings, and I was looking for validation from outside sources, and I was completely empty on the inside.
Was it because you were chasing money, or were you a deal junkie? Just wanted to close a deal to get that
It wasn't
high?
about real estate at all. It wasn't about real estate at all. I need to prove the world that I'm enough. And it didn't have to be in real estate. It has to be in chasing Ironman, buying more deals, more businesses. It was always something just to prove prove the whole world that I'm enough.
When we were talking offline, we've had a few CIA officers on the show. The most recent one, John Kiriakou, who is a phenomenal, interesting guy. And after the show, we get to talking about, kind of what CIA recruiting techniques are and what they look for in people. And he told us, we've had another one actually, Andrew Bustamante as well. Both of them great guys that were both on the show. And one of the things that the CIA looks for in a successful agent to hire, or a successful officer, is someone with childhood trauma. They've studied most successful CEOs and most successful CIA officers that are out on the field. The most successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, and field agents all have some sort of childhood trauma. Not too much childhood trauma, because if you have too much childhood trauma, you get addicted to sex, porn, and alcohol. If you have just the right amount of childhood trauma, you're always striving to prove somebody right and to keep pushing yourself and keep pushing yourself. So if you think back, maybe there's some childhood trauma there that's pushing you.
A lot. I'm telling you, one of my teachers told me that I'm gonna be stupid. I'm not gonna be nobody in my life. So I built 161 homes around the school, just to prove it. It's truly, that's what I did, the endurance sports, because I was covering my pain, my emotional body pain. I was covering with the titles, with and the pain, the physical pain, so I don't have to deal with what's going on underneath my hood.
What made you realize and discover internal to try and heal yourself?
Because I almost took my own life, and I figured like I couldn't realize like what had happened. Like, I have anything that anybody can imagine, anybody can dream of, and now I'm happy. I'm mentally strong. I'm emotionally strong. I'm physically strong. I'm sober. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I found connection with God. I'm spiritually strong. I have a partner. I reconnected with my kids, and I'm dying inside. The depression came 3 days. COVID or flu turned to 7 days, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 40 days later. I'm still in the bed, and now I have anxiety that I'm a loser. Like, yeah, I was proven. I got lucky. I finally got into me, and I cannot move. My muscle lost, and I'm like, okay, let's do the last dive. But I was too lazy to go to the boat.
Were you going to kill yourself?
Yeah.
Drown yourself?
Yeah. Well, because it's like I'm a scuba diver. There's no better death. You just go deep dive. You get in.
I'm a scuba diver also,
Yeah.
and
So after 110 feet, you get a narcosis.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's the best. You like kind of like get a
you get a
little
high.
high, and
Yeah,
then so you feel it's like, okay, I'm being too long, so you go up.
yeah. Nitrogen
But
narcosis, I think,
yeah,
is what it's called.
so yeah, that's what it is
Yeah.
exactly. But if you go down, then you just go to sleep, and it's the best death.
I did a 130-foot shipwreck dive.
So you already felt it.
Yeah,
You felt it.
yeah,
You felt it.
yeah. It's pretty dangerous. It can get dangerous,
Yeah.
but I see. How long have you been diving?
I've been diving for years. For years. I started, I think, 2000. In 2000, of course, then, and like all successful people, I got addicts. Suddenly, I got like 600, 700 dives a year. Travel the world, Australia, Egypt, everywhere you can scuba dive. And again, I got it for 2, 3 years, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. No, what's next? What's next? What next?
Yeah. So how are you? Well, can you talk a little bit more about the internal mental health and what signs you realize that, hey, suicide's not the way. I got to work on myself, and what steps you took to improve your mental health?
It's really it number one, to get any if it comes to mental health, I thought that I'm mentally strong. But what happened is I developed my depressions over the years. But I never allowed the depression into the door because I was always chasing something. It's hard to be depressed when you work out, 80 hours a week. It's hard to be depressed when you always have, 100 deals on the table and everything is going through your head. You don't have a time. Suddenly, but what happened is unconsciously, you're really programming your subconscious mind. There's something missing. There's something missing. But you constantly looking for something to fill the hole. So what happened is you putting the band-aid. That's how you start drinking, start doing drugs, because you kind of smooth the pain. But what truly gets to happen, or what happened with me, the sickness, I ended up in bed for 40 days. And I couldn't believe it. If I have no hardship whatsoever, I had anything that I could imagine. I did not lost anybody. I did not suffer any hardship, financial or mental, or any breakup. I got everything, that I could imagine, and I'm in depression. And I always make fun of people in depression. It's like I have zero empathy for anybody because I have zero empathy for me. You depressed, get out of bed. You overweight, go to the gym, stop eating. You broke, open business or go to work. So what happened is I have no empathy. So that's what it happens. That's what create all the pain. And then it just slowly, when I finally get out of the bed, my journey started. And I'm still on the same journey. It's been 4 years now. And I'm sharing the journey that, that we got everything within us to love ourselves, to take care of ourselves, that it truly our inner world creates our outer world. Because I created my outer world. And that's what I broke because I was so rich on the outside, so empty on the inside, and I almost took my own life. It will break. So it's nice to do it from within, not from the outside.
It's a interesting topic because a lot of people want to be rich and they think all their problems are going to be solved by being rich.
Your problems when you get wealthy, I'm saying financially wealthy, all your problems are going to become 100. So what happened is you got to have a lot stronger mindset. So sometimes we have those losses only, like I always said, that God gives you the obstacles to wake the hell up. Because we want to get like an elevator to success. It doesn't work. When you skip any level on any subject or on any stage of the growth of the business, you're gonna get your ass kicked back.
It's similar to people that win the lottery.
Oh, that's why they lose it. Because they have no emotional intelligence. They have no business intelligence. They have no emotional intelligence. So there's no way, the financial, like people ask me like, Jarek, how the hell did you do it? I have zero emotional attachments to money. When you chase money, you're not going to get it. When you suddenly get the money, you don't know what to do with it. If I give you right now the best body you can even imagine, like a snap of the finger, I can guarantee you in 6 months, you're going to go back to wherever who you was. The same thing. The money doesn't solve any problem if you don't know what to do with that.
And it's also the journey. the journey, if you think back of the journey of making money or being successful in business, that's the best part of it. But once you reach your goal, the goal is not the best part. If you look back, the journey is always the best part. Whether
Not
it's
the journey. I get you better.
give me better.
It's the person you become on the journey.
Yeah,
Screw the journey, but what if you get lucky in the journey?
that's true.
So
That's true.
it's the person you become on the journey. The goal is that we need to have the goal. And the best way, like right now, I want to help 8 billion people to find the happiness, get out of depression, bring awareness of the suicide and find truly the inner love and inner wealth. So, but if you do the goals, every time like I reach, if I do 10 million, then what? Depressed. Then 100 million, then what? Depressed. If I do Ironman, okay. Everybody that I brainwashed to do Ironman, I'm like, when you finish Ironman, you're gonna be depressed. What are you talking about?
They said this?
Yeah, I
This is a
said that.
thing?
I tell everybody. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, because there's something is impossible. You can't imagine doing Ironman. Like, you don't swim, right? And now you're gonna swim, 2.4 miles. You're gonna do 112 miles on the bike, and then for the cool down, you're gonna do marathon. Jarek, that's gonna take few years to train, or 6 months or a year. This is impossible. If I do it, it's like, yeah, if you do it, you're gonna be depressed. What do you mean? Because something is impossible. When you reach the goal, what next? Do another one? It doesn't have the hunger anymore. So this is the person, but the human you become, and you can use all the walls that you hit and all the breakthroughs that you learn on the training into your life, connected with your kids, connected with yourself, connected with your wife, connected with everybody. So all the stuff that we learn, the inner dialogue, the way you talk to yourself, because then you have a deal and it's like, shit, I'm losing money, I'm doing this, I cannot get it. You have a lot of horrible talks with you when you train. When you're on the 80th mile, 100 mile, and then there's another 26 to run, you got to be strong mentally. So the mindset, it was going to take you for the rest of your life. So when you do an Ironman?
Me? You know,
you did 3 Spartan races.
I did 3. Yeah, I did 3 Spartan races. And the first one, which was like a 5K with like 12 obstacles, I took it very lightly. And I was like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I don't really need to train too hard for it. And that one kicked my butt because I didn't train for it. The second one, I trained for it, but I trained in the wrong terrain. The first one was in the mud. So I trained as if I was going to be doing the second one in the mud, and ended up being in the Nevada desert. Complete different terrain, rocks, everything. I got my butt kicked. Then the third one, I figured, okay, I've trained in the mud, I've trained in the desert. This one I'll be ready for. This one was out in Temecula, and it was like 115 degrees. It was 15 miles, 30, 40 obstacle course. It was called the Beast. That thing kicked my butt. But after I finished it, then my friends were like, let's do Ironman. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I was like, guys, time out. It's never going to end.
But that's exactly.
It's never going to end.
It never is going to end.
And it's same with wealth. If you get to your magic number of how much wealth you want to make, you stop at that number, because there's always going to be someone richer than you.
And then you're miserable.
Yeah. And you'll be miserable because you're going to keep comparing.
There's nothing out there you cannot reach if you don't work. The inner wealth that's the infinite game. There's always something with more yachts, more jets, more helicopter, more units, more businesses, bigger, smarter, with prettier wife, with better car. There's always, and when you chasing, you always gonna be unhappy. And the more you chase, the more you living yourself. The happiness, the truly fulfillment in life is being present, being with your kids, being with your family, people that you love with the loved ones. But the problem is you have to start with yourself, because we people, success people, we're chasing and then we're pleasing people. We are people pleaser and we forget about ourselves. We never think of us. I was chasing deals. I was like, first wife said, I don't care about the money. I want you. Like, yeah, whatever, because we have money. Second wife, same thing. Then my kids. And then the third wife said the same thing. I'm like, I think I'm the common denominator. You know what I mean? They just want me just to be present. But I didn't know how to be present because I never was present with myself. When I went and first time, when I sit down with myself without phone, like now I date myself every single day. I take Jarek on a date. Jarek for 50 years didn't know what it means. Like, what do you mean? I need chaos. I need to have all the stuff. Like, I got to run. I'm useless. If I sit, it's like, Jesus, I'm useless. What I'm doing, this is my life. It was ridiculous until I completely broke. Now, the boredom, the stillness is the best friend. Any man, any successful man that's listening right now, he knows that's what you're missing. Bullshit. I want to go. I want to go 100 miles an hour. It doesn't work. Because you know how you drive the car, you go 100 miles an hour, and then you drive for like an hour. Suddenly you think like you're staying still. It doesn't. You on like,
Yeah,
then
just
when you feel
normal.
it. But after 100 miles an hour, then you're 120. It doesn't matter. You're still like, holy shit. Depends on what car you have.
Yeah.
You don't feel it. It doesn't give you the rush because you used to the dopamine level. The dopamine doesn't hit you. Those deals doesn't give you anymore. It doesn't matter if you buy $100 million deal or $30,000 deal on a watch or on something. It doesn't give you anymore. And what now?
Internal.
You start cheating, you start drinking, you start doing drug, gambling, porn. You're looking for sedation somewhere else. You're looking for running to get the dopamine from somewhere else. And you got everything within you. Just cut it out. And it's an infinite game.
And it's hard to look inward to see what the root cause of that is.
It's not.
For most people that don't have the self-awareness, it's very difficult to point the finger inwards and say
That's
it's
the
something
word.
inside.
When you see the triggers, like when you're pointing at somebody, those three fingers are pointing at you.
Yeah.
Well, you don't do this, like with your wife or with your kids. Yeah. Everything you see in other people, that's the shadow. The shadow is the best teacher. Think of that. But you only will know, when you start spending time with you. Show me which man spent freaking a half an hour, 10 minutes a day with themselves.
I mean, I'm an introvert. I love spending time with myself. I
Okay.
need it to recharge. So
So
I have a very good relationship with myself.
Yeah. A lot of people don't. And I was the one. Even though I didn't like to be around the people, I always have people around. The first time I went on vacation, first time in my life when I was 50 years old to Tokyo.
Really?
First time.
Did you like Japan?
Yes.
I love Japan.
Yes.
You want to talk about stimulation? Japan is all about stimulation.
Okay.
Your eyes, everything there, the food, the just the sightseeing, the millions of people in front of you. It's just one of the most stimulating, amazing countries I've ever been to in my life.
And I stay in the Hotel Mandarin in Tokyo.
Me too. At the Central Station.
Amazing hotel.
Yeah.
Amazing hotel. And guess what I did?
Don't tell me you stayed in the hotel the whole time.
Hell yeah.
Really?
Yes. No, I mean,
it's
of
at
course,
the train station. You
yeah,
just go down.
No. I did for a lot of walks, for a lot of, like I was doing everything, but I truly didn't know how to be with myself. So I just want to go on the walk, like, yeah, I'm this, and it was like I'm getting hit, and it's like, okay, what next? What would you do? Oh, what would you do with my wife? What would I do with my kids? I was like, okay, but there's nobody here. Oh, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go lay and just stare at that's a weird shit. Like, you know what I mean? And I love that. And then again, get the dopamine back, and then again, I completely sit with myself. Love it. I never lived with myself alone either.
I think, yeah, if you go to Japan now or after, once kind of being a little bit more self-aware and just being more connected with yourself, you'll see. I mean,
I love no, I loved it. Don't tell me wrong.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. And but it's definitely, I mean, it's one of my, it's not only because I remember, because it was my first trip I went alone, but also I got so much out of it that it's like you have like a world in the world, and it's like you go around the block, it's always something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love how they build the underground, and also even the little parks, like in between the buildings. Like, you feel like, what the hell? Like, how they can do that?
You think you discover Japan, and then you go down 2 floors, and you're like, oh my God, there's a whole underground part of Japan. Oh my God, even the hotels, they're on like the 50th floor of an office building. From 50 to 60 is hotels, then it's office, then it's retail, and then it's underground, more retail.
And New York looks small.
Yeah.
Like New York City looks small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes New York look, I mean, there's Shibuya, the Shibuya crossing. There's like 30 million people there just in the daytime. It's unbelievable. What are some of your other favorite countries that you've traveled to?
Well, I love Europe. For me,
Well, you're from.
I'm Polish.
I've been to Poland actually.
Yeah, I'm Polish. For me, definitely, it's a French Riviera, Italy, Sardinia. It's that's my soul. Definitely.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking to one of my good friends, his actual asset advisor. He's in the like 500 million plus net worth. And we were on a conference call with his asset advisor, and we were talking about taxes and asset preservation and passing down for his kids. And the topic of how much money is enough came up. We're always fascinated by how much money is enough so that you can actually stop the day to day hustle and focus on your life and enjoy your life with your family. And the number was basically $1 million a year, that you cannot spend more than $1 million a year. And hear me out. A lot of people are like, yes, I can. I'll buy a jet. I'll buy this. I'll buy that.
Yeah. No, they don't get it. That's me.
Yeah.
That was me. That was me.
Yeah.
It's truly there is no extra fulfillment and no extra. That's what we talk about. The dopamine doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
You buy a jet, you buy a second jet, and then it's like, okay. And then suddenly you fly in the Southwest between the people. It's like, holy shit, I love this shit. Like,
Yeah, it's fun.
Like, what the hell? Like, how did that happen? How did I went from private flying my own jet to Spirit and I enjoying it, being at the airport? It just like, it's
back to society. It's
yes. And how many watches can you buy?
How many pizzas can you eat?
How many pizzas?
Exactly.
How many?
There's only so much that you can spend.
And then those cars, like I get it. You can have a nice garage. You can have 10 cars. I get it. But then it's not even good. It's a furniture. So you truly spend, let's say, a few $1 million on this
for the first 3-4 years.
But you don't use it.
You won't use it, and then the 6th year of spending $1 million, the 7th year of spending $1 million, you're just like, I don't need this. Like, I don't need any of this stuff. It's just not good and not fun anymore. And again, to your point, how many watches can you put on your wrist? How many pizzas can you eat? How much dining can you do? How much travel can you do before you get sick and tired of it? So the idea was basically $1 million a year is the number. And if you have between 10 and $20 million net worth invested in the right investments, like an S&P 500, and it's keeping up with inflation and giving you $1 million a year, you're pretty much set for life. There's no point to go past that and kill yourself and not be with your kid, not with your family, and just keep hustling and hustling and hustling. Because at that number, when you die, it's all going to go to the taxes and the government, and it's just not really going to do any more for your family. So for a lot of successful guys that are just hustling to make money, over, 10 to $20 million net worth just is not going to move the needle anymore.
I would definitely agree with that. I would not disagree. And at the same time, remember, even when you give it to the kids, you don't want to give the kids like completely set up life. Because it's like when I retired at the age of 28, it was at that time, like I thought it's a gift, it was the biggest curse. Because suddenly you have 28 years old kid, have zero awareness, zero emotional intelligence, and suddenly that one goal that he had for the rest of his life to chase financial freedom, to chase money, to chase work, it doesn't have to do it. And then that when I truly, slowly got stupid, dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber, and looking for more stuff to substitute. And I was looking outside and I forgot about me.
There's also another number. The $1 million a year is for the guys that are, 10, 15, $20 million net worth and above. But then there's a number of for most people, average people, of how much is enough to be happy, where money doesn't make you any happier after that number. And that number is when you go to a restaurant and you don't look at the bill anymore. You don't look at the prices on the menu and you just order what you want. When you have that much money, if you make any more than that, your life is just not going to be that much happier. You know what I mean? Incrementally, it's not going to make you any happier. But just before that number where you're like, I don't know if I should order the steak. Maybe I should get a salad instead.
It's funny. I always say it's like when I was like 22, 23, it's like I stopped looking at the right side of the menu. So I only like what I if you don't have to look at the right side of the menu, brother, you got there.
Yeah.
You got there. But I'm telling you, it's funny you said this now 30 years later. We completely then took the shit for granted. Completely. completely.
Yeah, because starting out, I remember when I was young and just starting in real estate, I would go to a restaurant after, working, and then you want to order something on the menu. You're like, man, I only got $100 in the account. Like, I don't want to order too much, and then my card's not going to go through. Let me order something small. And then when you actually get financially free, you're like, you don't even look at the menu. You're like, I'll have a steak with fries and this and appetizer, and the bill comes. You don't even look at the bill. You just put your credit card. They take it. You don't even look at the bill. You just come sign, put your 20% tip, and you're done. And I think that's the number. If you're able to do that, you've made it. You're successful. Who cares how much you have in the bank? Who cares what your net worth is? What your car in the driveway is?
Yeah,
From that number on, like, money's not going to make you any more happier.
yeah, I agree with that.
So I wanted to know, as we wrap up, any advice you have for people out there that are working hard like you were, and they're mentally in a place where they're just not happy, and they're maybe thinking, bad thoughts of maybe just,
Well, what happens is when you're listening to this and you're facing the demons, it's really because you neglected yourself. You hide yourself at work, you hide yourself with relationship, you identify, you forgot who you are. Because right now we're going through a lot of identity crisis because we don't know who we are anymore. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a, entrepreneur, I'm a broker, we give ourselves a title. We forget about ourselves. So I will tell you, like, if you want to build the empire like this, your body is the biggest asset, and completely take care of it. Take care of your mind, take care of your heart, take care of your soul, take care of your, of your whole physical body. Physical strength and mental strength that go in pair. Don't neglect it. There's a lot of biohacking. There's a lot of peptides that you can, get your brain sharper, your body sharper, and truly take care of because this nobody can take away. Everything outside, the love can be taken away. Your wife can, betray you, or you can lose the wife. The same thing with the kids. The same thing with the businesses. The same thing with homes. When there were 2008, people lost
yeah.
homes. Those are the stuffs that people can take away. Nobody can take away what is within you. Take care of you. You are biggest asset. Love yourself, and and start building. And I can guarantee you, you are love. You are abundance. Everything will come. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Nobody write the definition. You are one of the 8 billion. There's only one Jarek. There's only one you, and you can go and just find it in the right time, and just be patient. You know what I mean? We're rushing. We're like, oh yeah, I wish. Like, yeah, I'm 53. I'm supposed to be sober father. I'm supposed to be exactly where I'm at right now, here at this chair in California. That's exactly what I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? I'm not supposed to be dealing with this bullshit. This we are. Yeah, I'm supposed to have a better job. I'm supposed to have a better job, a boss. I'm supposed to have a better business. Nope. You are exactly where you're supposed to be.
And to add to your point, the reason why fitness and your personal health is so important, because it mimics exactly the success in business. The discipline it takes to get in shape body and healthy is the same amount of discipline that's needed to be successful in work and to become wealthy. So if you are not wealthy today and you're out of shape, the easiest thing is get in shape, because
Yeah.
that's going to teach you the discipline that you're going to need to make money.
You know what? That's a huge one, and I don't want. You are the business card.
You are what?
You are the business card.
The business
The
card?
business card. Your impression, the first when you walk in the room, or you want to attract people, or you want to have somebody, you want to invest in your business and work with you. If they see that you don't even take care of yourself, why would they want to invest in you if you don't even like take care of yourself? This the biggest. The first impression is the only one you have, and you gotta be strong, and you gotta be strong mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, because then people do want to surround yourself with. You might have nothing out to offer, but it's like I have a guy that he's amazing, amazing father. I mean, this human being is amazing human being. He's not a good business person, but I just want to be around him just to get his energy because I see how he is, and this is like that. To me, it's the success of successes. So anything I want him to do something, I just tell him, hey, think of this. What would you do to the kids? And it's easy to kind of like relate it. Something like, hey, what you did in the gym, can we put this in a business? hey, what you did with your wife, if he's role model, he treats his wife very well. Like I will not do business. I almost signed a huge deal. I'm sitting, and I was like, hey, when you guys getting married? It was like $6 million deal, right? In Poland, it's big. And he goes, oh, we can't get married. She's married. Wait a minute. I almost shook your hand. We almost going to the closing table. Like, you have no integrity. You sleeping with somebody else's wife. Like, why would I want to go to bed with you?
Mm-hmm.
It's, what I mean? Those
Yeah.
little things. It's when you start breaking promises to yourself, then everything else opens. The doors opens that you have no idea, and you attract the right people around you. You are the biggest asset. I have kids. I have 5 kids. I always tell them, you the value. Like if you're 18, you have no value. Nobody's gonna pay you $100,000 an hour. Nobody's gonna pay you even $20. That's what you worth. You worth the minimum wage because invest in you. We are the biggest one. Read, take care of your body, eat healthy, think healthy, spiritually, and take care of yourself. Your mindset. I mean, that's everything. We are the value.
And you said something super duper important that I want to reiterate. You said find whatever you're successful in your life, whether it's you're a good father, you're in great shape, whatever success you have, you're a great musician, whatever it is, use that same skill set of what made you successful in that in business, and you'll be successful in business
You'll
as
be
well.
successful.
Yeah. Thank you. How do people find you on social media?
I'm all over social media, but the biggest one is Instagram, Tadla Jarek, and or YouTube or Google me. I mean,
We'll put your link in the bio. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, brother.